The David Pakman Show at davidpakman.com.
Welcome to the bonus show. It might be an abbreviated bonus show because we're dealing with Bombogenesis. Had you ever heard of the term Bombogenesis? Forget about days ago, even hours ago.
I thought that it was a Genesis cover band.
Oh, yeah. Phil Collins, there's the Phil Collins and Peter Gabriel band, a cover band. That's clever. Okay, anyway, Bombogenesis. You'll notice that Pat is wearing a winter hat because
Very cold.
it's bad out there.
Yeah.
This is, I guess, I feel like they just make up these terms just in order to make news. I've never heard Bombogenesis, but this is apparently a particular type of winter storm that exhibits that as a result of a rapidly decreasing barometric pressure is sort of bomb-like in the speed at which snow starts falling. And indeed, right now, it was fine a couple of hours ago, and we came in early to do the show earlier today to get it out of the way before the real throes of the storm start. It's almost complete whiteout conditions now, and it is crippling a huge part of the Northeast.
So we're not only supposed to get 8 to 14 inches of snow, we're also supposed to get like 50-mile-an-hour winds.
Oh,
That's
is that
a deadly
right?
combination.
That is a deadly combination, yeah. And there's major concerns about power outages. I was getting text messages just an hour ago from my electric company saying that they are ready. I don't know what that means. I'm guessing that means when the power goes out, they will be more readily available to go out and turn it back on, hopefully. I don't know. My gym said that they're closing early today.
Mine too.
So if I was planning, oh, yours did as well. Interesting. And what else? I was in Miami, Florida last week for our vacation, and it was 82. I guess it was 44 degrees this morning in Miami, Florida, which is just unheard of cold there.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. So you know what culture shock is. Obviously, if you live in a certain area of the world for even just a week or a few months, and then you go back to your home, either going there or coming back, you could experience culture shock because it's just so different.
This is
Are you
temperature
experiencing
shock.
Temperature shock?
No.
Because a week ago, you were on the beach in Miami.
Yeah, but it's way warmer. When I landed, it was 4 degrees or 6 degrees in Boston. And now the one good thing I'll say about what's going on is that at least it's in the mid-30s, or at least it was when I came into the studio this morning.
It's relatively warm out here.
It's relatively warm, yeah. Do you do anything special when there's a big snowstorm like this? Do you acquire canned goods? I know you're supposed to have, like, anytime it's going to snow a lot, from what I read online, you're supposed to get 2 years supply of black beans, and then you're good.
As a vegan, especially.
Yeah.
No, I went to the grocery store last night, and it was completely raided. I mean,
really?
I couldn't even get spring mix. I had to go with romaine lettuce, which is horrible. And the lines were super long, too. I think everyone was just preparing. And even in coming into work today, barely any cars on the street, very few people on the roads walking around.
Yeah.
I think it's just you and I, pretty much.
In the building?
In the whole city.
Oh, yeah. No, our building seems quite full. I don't know what Pat's talking about, but in any case, I think he can't see around the corners with that huge hat that he's wearing. Yeah, I value preparedness, and I do have like a first aid kit in my car. I've got a road atlas in case, for whatever reason, GPS were to be down and I needed to get somewhere.
Yeah.
I think I try to acquire things whenever I come across them. Like I've got a couple of those reflective, almost like tinfoil like shock blankets or whatever.
I remember we did a bonus show story months ago, maybe even up to a year ago, when you became a prepper. You were going through the list of items that you had kept in your car. And
I didn't exactly become a prepper. I bought like 4 things, including a couple flashlights. But I think that actual preppers would laugh at me. But when something like this happens, I don't imagine that a 12-hour storm might make it so that the food supply is interrupted for so long that I need a week's worth of food. I just don't see it happening.
No, not here. We live in the Northeast. It's not like you're down in Atlanta or Tallahassee or Miami
where they're unused to this type of thing. Yeah.
Then the whole city shuts down for a week.
Yeah. Well, actually, producer Noah Ferguson said that they were expecting 1 inch in Virginia today, and that was likely enough to wreak absolute and total havoc. And I remember when former producer Lewis was in Austin, and there was like a dusting, and the entire city completely shut down because they're just not prepared nor used to it.
Yeah, I'd imagine there are a bunch of car accidents.
Oh, yeah,
right?
it's
They
bad.
just can't deal with it.
It's really, really bad.
It's an excuse to go on vacation, though, maybe.
Now, of course, the right is pointing to this storm and saying what?
That global warming doesn't exist?
Naturally. Look at this big snowstorm in the middle of winter. And of course, this actually correlates. Climate and weather events are 2 different things. But when you have something like this, a particularly erratic and aggressive snowstorm, this actually fits into most of the models of climate change, which is you will have more erratic events on the fringes, hot and cold temperature records, particularly egregious hurricanes, particularly egregious snowstorms. But it doesn't matter. They've already decided they're not going to be open to disconfirming evidence. Period.
Yeah, it's like a pendulum swinging from one side to the other. You're going to have more and more extreme weather events.
Yeah.
But they would just point to that and say that you're trying to have it both ways, right?
Yeah, but obviously that's crazy because any reasonable climate change model accounts for exactly what we're seeing.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it was a bad idea to call it global warming from the onset.
I think that was a problem. I do think that was a problem. It should have been climate change all along. And warming in the oceans, for example, could be one part of a broader climate change sort of paradigm. So anyway, I hope everybody's staying safe. We're going to call the bonus show short today so that we can finish up and get home as safely as possible. And I don't anticipate any major problems carrying into next week from this. I just don't see how that would happen. It's supposed to warm up a little bit more, I think, isn't it? Or maybe not.
I mean, knowing New England weather, by next week, it could be in the 70s.
We could be at the beach next week, and I could be running at the beach next week. Who knows? All right. Thanks to all of our members. Thanks to patrons who access the bonus show. Stay warm, stay safe, and we'll be back with a new show tomorrow.
The David Pakman Show at davidpakman.com.